Hey, it's Chris. What's up? What do we got going on next week? The next 2 weeks, folks, absolutely killer. This week, the beginning of it, week of the 24th, absolutely smashing. I'm covering 2 games that week, but we're talking about this week first because I'm all in, baby. I'm all in. Because the first one up we're going to talk about, obviously, has to be Marvel Dice Throne, the X-Men version. In case you didn't watch any of the other videos I put out, and that's okay. But we have your classic characters. You're getting your Gambit, your Rogue, your Iceman, your Storm, your Wolverine, your Cyclops, your Jean Grey, and Psylocke. I believe that's all of them. There's a special missions box that's going to go along with it where you're basically going to be summoning allies to kind of do a different spin on adventures, it seems like. And then there's a big mystery that they haven't yet revealed, although maybe they'll reveal it between the time of now and when it's actually going to launch. So they've been revealing sort of things loosely on a Friday by Friday basis on their Facebook group. And so we'll see what happens with that aspect of things. But, you know, as a convert to the Dice Throne realm of things, I'm probably, like I said, going to be all in if the price is appropriate, which I'm going to be fearing it's nearly $100, $200. That's what I'm going to guess right now, $200, because of all three of those elements, right? That's going to be the big issue. And the third element, like I said, hasn't revealed, but I think people were hoping it was either going to be like a Deadpool one or like a Santa Krampus, if you were familiar with that standalone expansion, where you just have two enemies like going head to head, like Magneto and Xavier, something like that. Who knows? I don't know. I'm interested though. All the mechanics, you know, as I did the rundown on my video, some of them were more interesting to me than others. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. But that's going to be an expensive week for me. And that's why that's number one. Number two is going to be a close second. And this is a bigger unknown, though, because I love the idea of The Witcher, right? I love the idea of what Go On Board is bringing with us with a tableau building engine style card driven game with sort of maybe some scenarios to go along with it in terms of what big bad you're trying to defeat and how you're going to be comboing these cards and playing as some of the characters. But, you know, I haven't really checked out any of the significant gameplay yet. And videos have been out for a fair amount of time, I think now. The Game Found page has had a decent amount of information, not a ton, but the big question I think for a lot of us is going to be looking at the rulebook. And are they going to have a rulebook out on this one? It's completely different mechanically speaking. If you weren't a fan of The Witcher: The Old World, don't worry. This is not that in a nutshell in a different form. So again, the big question is going to be more price point. Price point, rulebook, why? They've already said exclusives. They said if you were a previous backer as well, you can get a little pin that's not going to be sold anywhere else. And, you know, like with The Witcher: The Old World, there were some incentives just, you know, again, purely exclusive wise to get it on crowdfunding versus waiting. Price wise too. But that's going to be the other big price point conundrum this week and what goes along with it from that side of things. Everything else, personally speaking, for me is secondary. However, I've heard you in the comment section. I know what people like. The other big one launching this week is an expansion, a character expansion to the, you know, if you had told me this prior to looking up, I wouldn't have believed you. 85th ranked game overall on Board Game Geek, Obsession, as a heavier Euro style placement with worker placement aspects. You're in the Victorian area, is socially upper middle class or upper class in general, and you're the head of a troubled family estate in 19th century Victorian England. You want to improve your state to improve your standing with the other families around you. So 16 to 20 turns, you're building tiles representing a room or an outdoor space while ultimately trying to, you know, competitively court the hand of the most eligible young gentleman and lady in the county with your renovations and reputation objectives. So I don't know, like I think the description is kind of cool now that I'm venturing a little bit into that side of things. It's not nearly as heavy as I thought it was. It's only a 3.1 rating on Board Game Geek. And the character expansion here, I guess, do you need that? Do you want it? New thematic personalities to provide unique actions for managing your estate, and they run through a few of them in the description of what the characters are, but not what they do. It already has a couple little things. It has a useful box, quote unquote. That's a promo. It has a promotional tiles to go along with it. It has the upstairs, downstairs expansion, as well as a few other little promo cards and a Wessex expansion as well. I have no difference. I have no clue what any of those do, how those relate, or which one you should pick up, but it's going to offer more asymmetry. And it'll be interesting to see how well this one is, well, obsessed over in that sense. The other one from Whirligig Games is coming, again, going back to the past of London and England, 1720s queer community called Molly House. Seems mechanically different than what I would have expected from Whirligig, but show me what you got. 1 to 5 player, gender-defying folks in the 18th century, where you're throwing masquerades and back alleys, surfing in the back alleys, trying to avoid the constables who are trying to destroy your community, as well as, dealing with potential informers in your midst. But it's hidden roles, multi-use cards, push your luck, potentially semi-cooperative with the traders in your midst, as well as a set collection style of things. So you may be paying bribes, you may be being coerced into becoming informers, and you're going to be just trying to figure out who is who among them. So, I don't know. I don't have a clue. That's all over the place for me, mechanically speaking. So, we'll see what it does. I have no clue the audience for this in terms of the mechanistic approach, because I think of Whirligig, typically speaking, a little bit heavier overall with their previous games like John Company and PAX Premier, right? But, you know what? Go Roxley, right? Go all over the place, mechanically speaking. It's okay. Just put out a good product, period. And that's what matters the most. The last one, again, completely different. Like the theme, want to see how it's different. We're going with Ezra and Nehemiah from Garphill Games. I don't know. I was expecting another one in the Tigris trilogy, but we're getting this one instead as sort of a set-alone, standalone style of things. But it's definitely using your worker placements, and you're taking over the role of building the temple in Jerusalem, trying to develop the land, gather, deal with the settlements that are around the outside, keeping the altar burning. Prophet's going to be doing their thing, and, after 3 rounds, or 3 weeks, essentially, using your cards, workers, and resources to rebuild the city, well, the best one with the most victory points is going to be the winner. I don't know. I'm intrigued. But there's already a dozen videos on Board Game Geek for this as well. So everybody that you can think of, big name wise, has already got their video from that side of things. So there's plenty of information from this aspect already there. But, with Garphill, I give Garphill kudos every time. They say, hey, go back as at retail if you want. That's cool. You don't want to get it on crowdfunding. That's cool. There's probably going to be some little promos. It's cool. Probably going to have some metal coins. It's cool. But you don't need them either. That's cool. So we'll see. First one, I am all in on. It's almost a guarantee. Although with Roxley, again, the main difference is price point. You're getting it slightly cheaper. Now with the big everything, though, I worry about shipping with that. That could be an expensive piecemeal shipping, and maybe if you don't love all of it, right? If you only want to piecemeal it, you might be better off picking up at retail. If the shipping is that much more for all of it compared to later. And so that's something to think about. Now, you probably won't be looking at the big box. That's probably what they're going to offer. And that's sort of their one exclusive that they've done, right? But if you want to get all of the previous, say, Dice Throne stuff, you can get it all individually wrapped, essentially, now. And I'm not sure the price point is terribly different. So take that for what you will. Witcher, we talked about. The other two, Molly House and Ezra. Well, I talked about Ezra. No idea what Molly House is going to offer. Again, mostly a price point with the other Whirligig games of PAX and John Company. So we'll see. As for me, like I said yesterday, I've just got to get a few things going. I've got the Time Strike /Source, the Heroscape-esque game, and Terrain, modular terrain. That one's going in the following week. I've got Old King's Crown, which is also launching on the same day. They're both launching on the 24th. So I've got that stuff going on. I've got a few other small reviews that I'm putting out. If you watched the stuff from this past week, we talked about Castles of Burgundy, and we talked about Cascadero, which is, like I said before, still sitting right here, folks. Yeah, I got nothing else going on, though. Kid has 2 soccer games this weekend. We have a Saturday and a Sunday game, and that's about it. Pretty good week. Working too much, but you know what? So be it at this time of year. It's cooling off. Don't have any other plans. I have no other plans this week at all whatsoever. So I'm trying to get a few new other things played that I just recently got in the mail. I've got 2 November crowdfunding games as well that are going to hit the table soon. I've got 1 or 2 other retail games. And, I think I'll probably be doing another multi-game review video here in the near future. You guys seem to enjoy that one, or at least it seemed that people were very interested in seeing a wide plethora of things all in one. So there will be more where that came from. There you go. That's it. Crowdfunding. What else we got? I'm looking for a good rant. Haven't come across one, though. I've got one on my radar. AI art. Yeah. We might be talking about that in the near future. And, another week or 2, we'll probably have another news video. Maybe this week. I don't know. It depends on what else gets announced and what else comes out. And, you know what? We got to do another crowdfunding fails. Whether it's my personal crowdfunding fails or we need to have updates on big company crowdfunding fails. A little bit of both. And you know what? I never did the September rewind. I've got the October rewind filmed, so we'll kind of see if I just scrap September's. It's too late. It's not even September anymore. And just go with the Octobers, or I do both, and we'll do it. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Let me know what you'd rather see. As always, what do you think? Any of these games interesting to you? Down below, you know what to do. Stay classy. Somehow made it over here. Somehow listen to me ramble at this whole thing at the end. Subscribe if you want. We're hitting 10K by the end of the year, right? Right. It's like the Anakin Padme meme. Right? I'm done. Peace out. See you later. Stay classy.